Hey you, want to get big? Want to be able to crush someone's hand in a handshake? Well, the gym should be your destination. Millions of people visit gyms each day, all in the hopes of bettering their physique. So why aren't there hordes of jacked people walking about the place? It's because people do it all wrong. It's not just a case of going to the gym and hey presto, you're a goddamn unit. There's actually a lot to it. The first mistake people make is the time of day they go. The golden window is before work, around 5 to 8 AM. At this time, only the dedicators are present, and there's usually plenty of space to get a good workout in. Yet getting up so early is a tall order, especially when you've spent all night flicking through Instagram reels. I'd try and persuade you to get up at this time, but who are we kidding? You ain't getting your lazy ass up. Another excellent time is 9 AM to 5 PM. Here you'll mostly find the unemployed and elderly. Machine availability is excellent, like at 5 to 8, but given you've probably got a job, this window's off the table. That means you're left with the horrific 6 to 9 PM time slot, otherwise known as hell on earth. Moving around is difficult, let alone finding a free machine. You can kiss goodbye to a bench press, they won't be free for a few hours. I always recommend going into a workout with a strong plan in mind, but during these peak hours, you have to use whatever is free, even that machine that you and everyone else has no idea how to use. As for your type of workout, there's different templates you can adopt. A popular type is known as the bro split. This is chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, shoulders on Wednesday, arms on Thursday, and legs on Friday. Legs? What I meant to say is the second chest day on Friday. We don't do legs here. You're walking around on your legs all the time. They get enough action as it is. Speaking of action, you won't be getting any, even if you attain the holy grail physique. Turns out getting jacked impresses guys, not girls. Nope, that isn't a sick joke. I wish it were. Before leaving to go to the gym, it's time to get in your pre-workout.
This usually takes the form of branched-chain amino acids and creatine.
Although you can consume creatine at any time, most people consume it just before hitting the gym. Whoops, a muscle memory.
Assuming you manage to find a free machine, the first step is to get out your headphones and boot up the perfect playlist to drown out the god-awful gym music and primal grunting of the wannabe alphas.
I give a second chance to Cupid.
Much better. To ensure you stay injury-free and make visible progress, exercising proper form is essential. Reps should be controlled and extended fully. There is a different school of thought known as TUTS. This stands for tension until tears. These guys value the pump over all and are allergic to full range of motion. When it comes to reps, you should vary based on your goals. 1 to 7 reps is for those seeking to build strength, 8 to 12 is for muscle growth, and more than 12 is for muscular endurance. Around 3 sets per exercise is ideal. Careful though, my friend did 1 set too many and turned into Prime Ronnie Coleman. Fortunately, he forgot to shout lightweight on the next lift and deflated before my very eyes. As a general rule of thumb, I recommend going after the big compound lifts, as these will activate more muscles. Among them are the bench press, squats, and deadlift. My favourite of these is easily the bench press. You're not a real lifter until you've nearly been crushed on the bench press attempting a weight you can't handle. You can always scream for help like a little girl, but you will lose all of your aura in the process. Instead, summon the power of your ancestors and get that bar racked. Deadlift is one you want to watch out for, as it's heavily associated with injury. My top tips to avoid injury include warming up to your working sets, keeping your back straight to avoid herniating a disc, and having a soothing self-help video ready for when you inevitably fail your PR.
You are enough.
You can also consider picking up a powerlifting belt. This helps you maintain the proper form while squatting and deadlifting. It's also a sign of physical prowess, indicating you are superior to all of the newbie lifters. Think of it like a belt in jiu-jitsu, except you buy it for yourself and it's all for show. Remember, everyone is on their own journey in the gym, and it's important not to judge. That being said, with your time in between sets, it's only natural to look around at everyone else going about their workouts. The trick is to do it in a subtle way so that they don't notice. The last thing you want is to make eye contact with someone and make things awkward. Their loose stringer is doing that job well enough by itself. Similarly, it's too irresistible not to size up other people in the gym, especially with all that skin on show. Bigger arms than me? Gotta be on steroids. But it's not just your time in the gym that matters. There's plenty you need to do outside of the gym to get into shape too. As you may know, protein makes up the building blocks of muscle, so it's super important to consume plenty. Around 1 gram per pound of body weight is the goal. However, eating this much can be rather tough, so get smart with it. Some bodybuilders blend their chicken into protein shakes as it's quicker to consume. Personally, I think setting yourself up to a Greek yogurt drip could be an excellent option. You may have heard the sentiment that it matters more what you do outside of the gym than in the gym, and in my experience, this is totally correct. I always got weird looks when I brought a pint with me to the squat rack. I suppose your overarching diet is pretty important too, and you should shape this depending on your body type and what body you are shooting for. For the sake of argument, I'll assume you're after a standard aesthetic build that you'll almost certainly quit on before you achieve. Let's have a look at some of the common ones. Up first, we've got the pencil build. You folks are skinny as can be and in dire need of some protein. Straight on the bulk for you. Next up is the thermos flask. You're around average in weight and carry a decent amount of fat, but nothing too major. Beneath that flab is muscle, but who's to say how much? I'd recommend a bulk. Third is the fridge build. You guys are overweight and get out of breath at the sight of a treadmill. I'd hop on a cut from the get-go to get your weight under control. You're probably carrying a decent amount of muscle anyway, especially in your legs. You've also got the skinny fat build too, because just one type of punishment isn't enough. Like with the pencil and thermos flask builds, you should get on a bulk as you're lacking muscle. Trust the process and all will come good in the end after you cut. As for the final body type, we have the Dorito build. If you're in this category, you're pretty yoked, and you have the perfect foundation to put on muscle. Hell, your starting physique is better than most folks' finishing physique. The rest of us can only hope that the gods nerfed you in some other way. Now let's talk food specifics. For serious lifters, chicken, rice and broccoli are the staples of lunch and dinner time, but no flavourings or sauces are allowed. You need to embrace suffering. This perpetual state of woe will strengthen your mind and body, allowing you to push past your limits and unlock previously unobtainable heights. Even if you're out of the house, there's no excuse to miss quality meals. Just meal prep. Slap all your chicken, rice and whatever else into a burrito and squeeze that sucker closed. Not only does this give you a macro-friendly meal on the go, but these burritos are also basically mini dumbbells. This is a great way to continue building the mind-muscle connection outside of the gym. If you stick with your gym routine and eat right, you'll see amazing results. In fact, you may feel you're destined to become Mr. Olympia. But after those newbie gains dwindle in 6 to 12 months, you'll realise you're a mere mortal like the rest of us. It's at this point you should hop on the juice. No, not that juice. This juice. It won't help you get stronger, but hey, it sure is tasty. The most efficient way to put on muscle is to go through phases of cutting and bulking. During the bulking phase, you put on size in both the form of muscle and fat. And then during the cutting phase, you strip away mostly fat, leaving you with muscle gain. Now when it comes to getting fat, I mean bulking, it's important not to let the bulk get out of control. Stick to a healthy diet and aim to increase 500 calories or so more than what you would usually eat, which is known as your maintenance. Lots of people think bulking is easy, but this certainly isn't the case. Sure, if you're going to eat ice cream all day, there's no real challenge, but if you want to bulk the right way and eat clean, be prepared for suffering. You don't know true hell until you've woken up at 1 in the morning to realise you've got another 1,000 calories to consume. It's enough to make a grown man cry. I used to pile handfuls of dry almonds in my mouth to get over the line, and it was rough. Thank God those days are behind me. Learn from my mistakes. Don't leave too many calories to the end of the day, and drink a homemade shake daily containing the likes of almonds, peanut butter, and avocado. I suggest this because liquid calories are far easier to consume. When the bulk is over, it's time to cut. So take 500 calories off your maintenance and enjoy controlled starvation. Sure, cuts can be brutal, but it's all worth it when you get shredded and your veins protrude like a map of the London Underground. A word of warning, my shredded vascular cousin got a paper cut once and almost bled out. It wasn't all bad though. When he blacked out, he said he met Ziz and gained transcendence. But he's over 20 years into his fitness journey. You have to remember getting into shape is a marathon, not a sprint. Signing up for the gym is a lifelong commitment. Unlike marriage, it's impossible to leave when you've had enough. Those gym membership contracts are watertight. And if you do somehow wriggle your way out, you'll just be back next year with all the other New Year's resolutioners. So instead, don't overwhelm yourself by going to the gym 6 times a week. Focus on maintaining consistency. It'll work out better in the long run. And anytime you want to skip the gym, remember, Arnold sees all and he's not the forgiving type.